Well, good morning on this Tuesday following Labor Day weekend. I hope you had a wonderful long weekend. I don't know what it's like where you are, but up in our little corner of this state, we're filled with a lot of smoke from the wildfires burning around Washington, Oregon, and California. We had a bad year last year, and we're seeing it again this year for the first time. So I hope you're staying safe, and certainly our hearts and prayers go out to all those people who are being affected by the wildfires raging up and down the West Coast. My name is Matthew Atkins. I'm the Senior Financial Advisor with Clearbrook Investment Management and also a National Social Security Advisor certificate holder. I'm sure you've heard this question posed, or at least a statement made about the U.S. president and their effect on our economy, particularly on the stock market. But not just the stock market, also labor growth, wage growth, all those things that we hear in the media, particularly when we're in a cycle of a presidential election year like we are right now. Literally, you can't turn on the TV or the radio without hearing something about the U.S. economy. Now, we're seeing a little correction take place right now, and you can see a little bit more about that in the email I send out. But generally speaking, since March when the coronavirus hit and suddenly we see this downturn in the U.S. markets, we've now seen a V-shaped recovery right back up. But who is responsible for that, and what's responsible for that? Does the sitting president really have an effect on the U.S. economy? And if so, how much? Because all you hear in the media is that when the economy is booming, of course, it's our administration, our presidency, it's our decision-making, our policies that have affected the U.S. economy and turned it into this robust thing. On the contrary, when the economy is not doing so well, the sitting president always has someone to blame. Who's that? Usually their predecessor. And their predecessors' policies and administration and decision-making affected why we're going through this difficult economic time. But is that accurate? Now, there are many, many things to consider when looking at voting for a president. And I don't want to sway you in any direction because that's up to you. But I do want to provide some helpful information over the next few weeks about whether or not the president really affects our economy, and if so, how much. So I hope you'll stay tuned and check back with us next week when we get in more detail about whether or not the U.S. president affects our economy and how much. I also want to encourage you to take some time to look over the chart that's in the email that I'm sending out. And if you haven't done it already, take a look at your risk level in your portfolio. You probably noticed the abrupt end and slight change in the video this morning because I got a call while I was filming that my wife had been rear-ended. Everybody's fine. The car's going to need some work, but everybody's safe, and so I had to run out. So I was about to say, if you're a Clearbrook Investment Management client, you don't need to worry about your portfolio and the suitability of the risks that we're taking. We address those things with our clients on a regular basis. But if you're not yet a Clearbrook client, we would love to talk with you about the risk you have in your portfolio and how it's positioned in light of what's going on in the U.S. economy. Check back again next week, and we'll send out another email. We're going to talk more in depth about whether or not the president really affects the U.S. economy, and if so, how. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.